Okay, we're back. The exciting conclusion of the modern marketing department. And today we're going to talk about the underlying infrastructure that you need to make the 4 pillars of unknown acquisition, known prospect nurture, sales qualified lead nurture, and customer nurture to work and to work together. So those are the 4 stages, and my recommendation is that as a CMO, I would want to have a really strong lead on each of those 4 pillars. Then there are some sort of underlying infrastructure that you need to support those pillars. The most important one being BI and reporting, because it's BI and reporting that really connects together all the different engines and tools that you need to use to make those sort of 4 pillars happen. So what I use obviously is a Power BI dashboard connected to SQL. Works awesome, and I get all the metrics that I need and I can share it with others, which is great. Another super important thing under all this, of course, is planning. Planning is something that is an ongoing function in the modern marketing world because you're continuously iterating and fine-tuning. The concept of annual plans is quickly going away. There's still some annual planning around budgets because we are still on fiscal year cycles, but if you just set your plan at the beginning of the year and don't keep changing it, you're never going to hit your numbers. So constant iteration is super important. I talked a little bit in the modern CMO about experience flows. That actually has to be a discipline, making sure that the journeys are connected and people are able to go from landing page to direct buy or from landing page to the information that they need to start making a sale or talk to a seller. And then, of course, the marketing technology. I find that, as a marketer, I need to be very strong as a technologist these days, and I need to be surrounded by really good technologists and project managers who can bring all these platforms and technologies to life. That's not something that marketing ever sort of traditionally worried about, and it's a really neat opportunity for interface between the IT department and the marketing department and really great cooperation and collaboration, which I've had a wonderful experience with Kurt Peterson in the Microsoft IT department doing exactly that. Another thing which is a discipline unto itself is this concept of lead routing. And although these tools sound really great on the surface, there is a non-trivial amount of hand-holding and configuration required to make everything work correctly. And it's really good to have experts who are really babysitting the leads all the way through and making sure that breaks don't happen. Compliance and controls has become very important, both in the corporate environment, the corporate world, but just generally as a marketer, when you're dealing with so many moving parts, it's really great to be able to centralize as much as you can and have controls in place that allow people to not really worry about compliance, but just be able to work with a central group that can just do things in a way that's expedient and normal, and marketers can then focus on optimization. And finally, and this is in some ways one of the most important things and something that most marketing departments underinvest in is professional development. The advice I always give folks on my team is that you have to think about marketing as a profession. You have to think about yourself like you're a lawyer, or you're a doctor, or my brother is a chemist. He reads chemistry journals all the time because he loves chemistry. And that's something he's always investing in. If you're a doctor, you have to take CPE courses just to maintain your certification. You're always investing in learning more about your profession. For some reason, there's a lot of marketers who feel like they can just walk out the door and forget about it. You got to keep studying this profession when you get home. You got to read the books, you got to read the classics, and you got to read the most modern stuff. You got to play with stuff, you got to try things. And as a CMO, I want to make sure that I'm investing in my team. So we have green books. So we create books on how to do the 4 things I was talking about a minute ago. Run a ton of brown bags. I've got one person, Paul, who's 100% dedicated to professional development. That's what he does all the time. We leverage a lot of the stuff that's happening in the company, and we send our folks on a lot of courses. There's a lot of great stuff out there, and we run ad tech days. So twice a year, we'll have a full day conference where we'll bring in all the latest vendors to talk about the coolest things that they're doing with their applications. So that's sort of a quick overview of the modern marketing department. It's really different from what a marketing department looked like just a few years ago, but it's important that you restructure and rethink the way you deploy your people and the way your people work. And that is all for today. Thank you for joining us on the wonderful world of marketing, and I'll see you again sometime soon.